There are some major issues with Secret Lairs that seem to reoccur over and over again, and Wizards of the Coast has done nothing to address it. It seems like only yesterday that Secret Lairs became part of the fabric for Magic the Gathering. 2019, 6 years ago, and the game and the Secret Lairs have evolved a lot since their inception. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thank you again for hanging out today for another video. Now, Spiderman is only a few weeks away. Spoiler season is in full effect. Wizards of the Coast and their marketing team have done a lot to highlight Secret Lairs over the last couple of years. They've rebounded a nearly dead product that nobody wanted to buy anymore, have revamped it with a more limited production run to make it a more exclusive and exciting product to get your hands on. They have tied this in with amazing marketing and IP allocation with things like Deadpool, Marvel, Princess Bride, Evil Dead. You can jump into things like Monty Python, My Little Pony. I mean, the sky's the limit when it comes to these Magic the Gathering subgroup of Secret Lair cards that they give us. Sometimes brand new fresh cards we've never seen, and a lot of the time these are reprintable cards with new variant artwork. Now this allows Wizards of the Coast upfront cash, low-cost reprintables, which bring down the overall market for cards that could be too expensive for the average player. But what it does mostly is highlight some of the appeal of the variant artwork selections by artists that you may not regularly see in other Wizards of the Coast products. And of course, with the upcoming Spider-Man set, we get a new Secret Lair drop. Now, I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but you can see it's going to be like the Daily Bugle. It's all related to Spider-Man, and it's coming up very soon. And it kind of got me thinking about the last several instances of myself, my friends, and people here on this channel trying to purchase these products. I've never seen something so hit or miss than Secret Lairs. I could be ready inside the queue. 70, 80 people I know inside the queue, and only 10 of us out of 100 get that Secret Lair before it sells out. There are other products that are not as popular, and they are readily available, and they still are inside the store. If you went right now to the Secret Lair store, where there used to be no products around when they really tightened up the reprinting, again, we're kind of lashed out there with tons of additional products that nobody really wanted. Wizards of the Coast created them, but nobody came calling. But when we go back to the really popular Secret Lairs, they sell out so quickly that a lot of players never get the opportunity to buy the product. Wizards of the Coast needs to do something to revamp the system to allow for more purchases to happen while still paying attention to a tighter allocation run. This flaw inside their system becomes more and more apparent with every big release of an IP. When we looked at the Marvel, the Deadpool, some of these things were scalped so hard by so many bots with so many loopholes that it took me hours of waiting in line to find out that they were all gone. And I knew they were gone because people on my channel had already told me, oh, they sold out. You're still waiting in line? I said, I'm going to wait in line to see what happens, to see how long it takes me to finally get to the queue. And then I have other friends who would call, and other people on the channel would say, oh, I found a backdoor loophole. You just have to link on some other item, and then it'll ask if you want to add additional, and then you can do it. Now, Wizards of the Coast has done things to try to fix it in very minor ways. They've kind of limited how many you can buy, but that's easily skirtable by just adding extra bots or finding other friends to buy for you. The way the system is right now, it needs to have some kind of overhaul to allow you to either pre-register for that particular Secret Lair, saying, yes, I'm interested in buying this one Secret Lair, so they can change the allocation numbers to more closely fit how popular a Secret Lair is going to be. Now, right now, when they revamped the first system, when the Secret Lairs were dying and nobody really wanted them anymore because there was just too many to collect, and not all of them were hitting well with players, and the value of the cards weren't quite there based on the costs that Wizards of the Coast was attributing to making the cards. You know, a card that's worth $1 and you're charging $12 for the variant, it didn't always go over well. But when it's a popular card or amazing artwork or a great IP that people do want in on, their allocation numbers usually fall short because they're basing it on how other sales have happened. I'm not sure what the overall system is for how Wizards of the Coast breaks these things down by the numbers. I'm sure they have something in place which gives them a rough estimate, but I think some kind of pre-ordering system to say, yes, we are interested in this secret lair may help them kind of fuel the system in a more positive way for players and, of course, for people waiting in line to get these things. The idea of waiting for 4, 5, 7 hours and finding out I didn't get something, and then finding out I couldn't get SpongeBob, but my friend got it for me because he got in somehow in a backdoor way, is insanity. But this is something I think Wizards of the Coast needs to address, but may not want to address. The FOMO system they have in place right now for popular products really is good for the company. Selling out and having none left in their market shows that these cards were so sought after. The value is so insanely high that yes, players are going on the secondary market to get these things. A reminder, they can be reprinted. Even under the new allocation system of how they do these kind of print runs, they do leave the stipulation that they're allowed to reprint them whenever they want. This isn't an actual reserve list, although it does seem to be some form of pseudo-reserve list, which is why so many people are flocking back to Secret Lairs and picking up the sets that really interest them. You know, when I looked at this new Daily Bugle kind of thing, right, and looking at the cards inside and the Spider-Man lineup, the way they've locked in the IPs with marketing and how they kind of put a secret lair with a new release, it's not a bad idea. It works well, especially if you can get some exclusive cards or some really cool artwork that just kind of fits well. And I think they've done that in most cases. They've done a good job, just like their set releases now. But I think that exclusivity they're adding and the difficulty in getting secret lairs is really wearing thin on a lot of players. Being able to, have to leave work to try to get in a queue line to get a couple of cards seems like it's just nuts. Where other players would like it to be up for a couple of days. Or again, can we just pay up front 6 months in advance and then know the order is coming on a certain date? I don't know. I can't wait to see what the comment section says about this type of business acumen that they've got going right now, because I don't think it's actually working in everyone's favor. Wizards of the Coast makes a lot of money from secret lairs, especially with the way they've been doing it in the last 24 months. The kind of exclusive nature of many of the secret lairs and the popularity of some of the IPs they've chosen has everyone kind of in that high alert. Whenever a secret lair comes, it's like, are you getting the next secret lair? I don't know. Are you getting it? You're like all kinds of like prairie dogs looking around to see if it's going to be the one that you want. And I get that. It's exciting. But I hate the idea that if it is one that I want and I wait in line and I can't get it, it just puts you off. And misery loves company. And the internet will make their wrath known if there's a mass group of players who couldn't get a particular popular secret lair. So you guys are going to have to let me know. How do you feel knowing that these secret lairs, these issues can happen time and time again? And what do you think the possible solutions could be? Because I would go with some kind of pre-ordering system where you could let them know way in advance that if this secret lair comes up, maybe choices come up on a yearly thing, and you could drop money down ahead of time to kind of know that you're going to buy it. I think that might be a better system than what they've got going right now, which is just pure fuel FOMO, only to find out that there's some left over, like Sonic, where they said they were sold out and then it wasn't sold out. Or maybe going to an LGS system where the LGSs pay for it up front and they can buy as many as they want might be a better system as well. Paying directly to Wizards of the Coast, having it shipped to their stores, and then buying it locally wherever you are might be a better system as well. And it may help the LGSs as well. There's a lot going on with this one. There's a lot to think about. But I think this flaw in the system right now of the thing breaking down where you can't get your order, even though you waited in line and you were right there at the beginning, is just nuts to think we're going to keep going back to like the 90s style of just phoning in over and over and over again, trying to get a concert ticket, or in this case, a secret lair. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out today. I look forward to seeing your comments in the comment section. And don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow with another video. And of course, a big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons of the Moxman. Whether you're a patron or a YouTube membership member, you make the daily content creation here possible. So thank you again for being supporters of the channel. Thanks a lot for being part of Team Moxman. And of course, don't forget this weekend is the live stream giveaway for reserve list cards for the patrons and YouTube membership members. So tune in Sunday, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. Now, I'm without coffee. I am halfway done. I'll have some more water. How about that? I'll slug back some more. Got a parched throat. First day of high school for Mini Mox. By the time you're watching this video, Minimox is like halfway through his day of his first day of high school. I can't wait to figure out how this works out for a kid nowadays in the 2025 era of going to high school. Insanity. But let's jump over here. We can talk about that on the live stream this weekend, but I want to hit this up because I remember numerous times now me waiting to try to get secret Lairs or friends trying to get them for me and having no luck. Just getting locked out of the system to find out they got sold out. This has to be fixed, or it's just going to slowly grind on people more and more. The allocation numbers, they got to find a better system of doing this that works more also in their favor. Don't get me wrong, Wizards has got to make money. I don't want this being an abandoned product line because I think it has a purpose, and I think it has money for Wizards and a great thing for players when it's a certain kind of artwork or style you really like. Good old Frank Azera, man. Great stuff when I look at the Death Dealer stuff. Give me more of these IPs like G.I. Joe, Thundercats, Transformers, Silverhawks. No, I don't need a Captain Planet one. Maybe Care Bears. I'd be okay with Care Bears too. Gummy Bears? Remember Gummy Bears? Yeah. I'm off topic now, but that's okay. New secret Lairs, new ideas, a better system, Wizards. Think about it. Guys, thanks a lot for hanging out. Have an awesome day. Ramble! Jamble!